It's not often that you meet an actor whose real life seems more diverse than the characters they portray. That is the case, though, with actress Erin Cummings. You've seen her on shows like Mad Men, Charmed, and most recently on the ABC drama Detroit 187. I caught up with her in LA and quickly discovered why Detroit residents have so much love and respect for her.
Without you, there's no reason for breath. I would be lost.
From shows like Spartacus and Star Trek Enterprise, Erin Cummings is making a name for herself on the small screen. She's currently playing Dr. Abby Ward on ABC's Detroit 187.
The way that they've written Dr. Ward with having a bit of a sarcastic sense of humor is really fun for me.
But Dr. Ward is just part of Erin's story. She started a community initiative called Mittens for Detroit, which to date has collected and distributed almost 10,000 new mittens to adults and children in need. And it all started when she and her cousin Kathy witnessed a heartbreaking moment on a cold Halloween night in Detroit.
We were passing out candy on Halloween, and a young girl came to the door and was cupping one of her hands and shivering and crying. And immediately Kathy zoned in and said, "Are you cold? You're missing a glove. Where's your glove?" And the mother was sort of behind her and trying to fix this glove that had fallen apart. And so Kathy immediately invited the family in and said, "I'll get my spare pair of gloves," gave it to the girl, put it on her hands, gave her a hug and a piece of candy, and all of a sudden this whole family was all smiling and went out to enjoy the rest of their evening because it just was so simple. And I realized that is exactly how it can be.
The program's getting a lot of attention.
I've found that so many people who have been involved with Mittens for Detroit, they go, "Wow, giving back makes me feel good."
Exactly.
And what I've experienced from Mittens for Detroit has been exponential, and it has given me such a stronger sense of purpose.
Erin spent a lot of time off camera dedicating her time to helping residents in Detroit, and her description of a few things that she's witnessed on the streets isn't anything from a script. It's real life.
You've got an incredible love for this city of Detroit, and it goes deeper than just working on the show.
I visited Michigan Veterans Foundation and spoke to these vets who've given themselves for the sake of our country, and unfortunately came home and didn't have the luxury of a family to take care of them, and they're now living on the streets. And these are men who served our country. And so it was amazing because they all walked in and they sort of stood at attention and they waited for their commander to say, said, "Y'all come over here, come talk to me." And so he gave them a command and they came up and they all saluted me and they were all, "Yes, ma'am," and "No, ma'am." And you see these men and you go, you are living on the streets. You gave so much of yourself and you have been let down on so many levels, and you are still gonna look at me with so much respect and appreciation because I'm giving you a pair of gloves. Like, that's so
pretty powerful.
The level, just the simplest thing, and the level of appreciation.
I see you're tearing up a little bit. I know.
They were amazing people. And then the Covenant House, you meet some of these kids who father is non-existent and mother is unfortunately addicted to drugs and is selling her body, and they're one of many children. And they don't have a home to go to because there was a girl who was living in a crack house because she was escaping an abusive family life, and the only place for her to go for shelter was to go and live in the crack house. And then you go and you're staying there, and everyone else is smoking crack around you, and they're asking you to do it. You have nothing else going on in your life. I can't say that I wouldn't succumb to the same pressures if I were in that situation.
Erin's definitely making so many lives better, one person at a time. She's got plans for Mittens for Detroit 2. They're underway, and she's also got several other charities that she's working on. Now, as for her acting career, Erin's working on a new project with Vin Diesel as she and the rest of the crew from Detroit 187 wait to find out if this show will be renewed. Meantime, we'll have a link with more information on Erin's projects at bettertv.com.